Hi, I'm Bridget. I have an older sister called Angelina. These days, we are thick as thieves. But I wasn't always like that. We used to fight all the time when we were kids. I couldn't stand Angelina and never missed an opportunity to mess with her. For example, I often spilled water on my sister's bed while she was asleep and laughed at her. Mom, Dad, you should buy Angelina diapers. She wet the bed again. But one day, my sister woke up in the middle of the night and saw me. Wow, I'd never seen her so mad. You're going to get it! You'd have to catch me first! I am so ashamed of the way I used to act. It was all because of our parents. They'd always loved my sister more than me. For as long as I could remember, they told me about all her successes and said I should be more like her. I felt invisible. That's why I bullied her. This went on until we got older. One day, Mom and Dad left to visit our grandma in a nursing home. Angelina and I were left alone and got into a fight again. We made quite a mess, but eventually, we came to our senses and started to clean up the house. While we were doing that, we made up and realized we should support each other instead of competing. When our parents came back, Angelina scolded them for the way they treated me. You're right, girls. It was our fault you didn't get along. Things are going to change from now on. And they did. For a while, at least. Angelina became my best friend. Mom and Dad stopped playing favorites. I no longer felt like I was in my sister's shadow and was enjoying life. I even got a boyfriend. His name was Stan. We became an item after he confessed that he liked me for a long time. You used to look like a prickly cactus, and I was afraid to talk to you. But now, I see how cute you are. If this is your way of asking me out, then yes. Things were looking up. However, as you might have guessed, that wasn't the end of my story. It had only just begun. One day, my mother got a call from my grandma's nursing home and turned white as a sheet. It turned out Grandma had broken her leg while having fun on a cruise liner. She had apparently decided to show young people how to dance limbo, but fell and injured her leg. But what upset Mom the most was the fact that Grandma would need to move in with us while she recovered. It's going to be a disaster. Come on, Mom. It's going to be fine. Right. Grandma's always so nice when we visit her. Mom seemed to think about our words and then smiled slyly. In that case, you two will be looking after that wrinkled angel. Your dad and I have a lot of work to do. My sister and I exchanged confused glances, but agreed. What was the worst that could happen? Oh, how naive we were. Grandma Grace started to boss us around and complain as soon as she walked in.
This isn't a house, but a huge dump. Angelina, take me to the TV and massage my neck. Bridget, clean my false teeth.
Ew. Well, have fun, girls. I'm off to work. Mom left us with Grandma, and we didn't have a moment of peace. Our grandma was acting worse than a baby. Angelina and I bent over backwards to please her, but she was unhappy with everything, no matter how hard we tried.
The soup is cold. Do you want me to get sick? Now it's hot as lava. I could burn my tongue.
Granny wouldn't even let us rest at night. She slept in our room and snored like a freight train. She also had hearing problems, so during the day, she turned up the TV so loudly you could hear it across the street. My sister and I couldn't sleep or study. Of course, our academic performances suffered because of that. But do you know what hurt the most? Mom said nothing about Angelina's bad grades, while I always got an earful. Bridget, you won't get into a good college with grades like these. Yeah, my happiness didn't last long. We were back to square one. Mom was acting like the world revolved around Angelina, and I was the worst daughter in the world. I even started to wonder if she was right. I tried harder to make my parents proud of me. I helped around the house, mowed the lawn, and took care of Grandma. Still, Mom didn't seem to notice my efforts and always found something to criticize. Bridget, look at those bags under your eyes. Your sister always looks flawless. Ask her for a couple of tips. Of course I looked like a crumpled t-shirt. I couldn't remember the last time I got a full night's sleep. One day, I was passing by my parents' bedroom and heard them arguing. How can you be so heartless? Why do you treat your mother so badly? Because she's unbearable. She has always been too strict with me. Don't you dare raise your voice at me. Wow, they had never fought like that before. My stomach was in knots. I wanted to talk to Angelina, so I went back to our room. But she wasn't there.
Your sister just left.
What? Without telling me? I called Angelina and demanded an explanation. Sorry, Bridget. I met some cool guys, and they invited me to a party. Please don't tell Mom and Dad. I didn't want to fight with my sister because we'd only just learned to get along, so I agreed. I decided to do my homework, but Grandma used her crutch to kick my textbooks away. Why would you do that?
Shh! I'm going to tell you stories from my youth. Back in my days.
Oh no, I felt like I was stuck in a living nightmare. The next day at school, I decided to tell Stan about my problems. He always knew how to cheer me up. Baby, you just need to relax a little. Let's go out this weekend, just you and me. On one condition. What is it, baby? Don't ever call me baby again. A bit later, I found out great news. Our principal said that our school was going to take part in an exchange program. The student to create the coolest project based on their favorite book would study for a whole year at a very expensive and prestigious school in Germany. My classmates immediately signed up for the competition. I decided to join them. I wanted to win and prove to Mom that I was just as capable as Angelina. I chose a Harry Potter book and got to work that very evening. Or at least tried to. Grandma kept distracting me. She didn't take no for an answer and started to sob if I didn't pay attention to her.
I'm bored. Let's dance.
Granny, you're in a wheelchair. Your leg is broken.
Nobody in this house cares for me. Oh, poor me.
I sighed heavily, turned on the music, and started to move Grandma around the room. She was having fun, but I was so tired I could barely move. What pissed me off the most was that Angelina hung out with her new friends all the time lately and didn't help me at all. Her friends were some sort of rockers, and because of them, my sister now had strange hobbies. She bought a guitar, completely changed her look, and started listening to dark music. She even painted her part of the room black. I didn't really like it and told her that. Angelina, you dreamed of doing gymnastics and charity work, but now you look like you came out of a horror movie. Whoa, baby, I'm just trying to find myself. There's nothing wrong with that. I realized that music is my vocation. Maybe she was right. I shouldn't have judged her for her hobby. But for God's sake, why was everyone calling me baby? It made my blood boil. As you might have guessed, I didn't have the time to work on my project that evening. The next day, Stan and I agreed to go on a date. Angelina left early in the morning for a rehearsal, so I decided to ask Mom if she could look after Grandma for a couple of hours. However, my parents were fighting again. I can't put up with your temper any longer. You're not the woman I married anymore. Dad shouted that he needed time to think, packed up, and left. Mom locked herself in their room and said she wasn't in the mood to talk to anyone. My family was falling apart, and I felt miserable. I wanted to hang out with Stan and get my mind off things, so I asked Grandma to behave while I was away. Soon, I met up with my boyfriend. I thought we'd have a nice picnic or go to the movies, but he brought me to a noisy party. Didn't you say it would be just the two of us? Yeah, I forgot that I'd already promised my friends we'd hang out. I can't cancel my plans because of you, can I? Come on, it'll be fun. His words made me feel even worse, but I tried not to get hung up on them. I wanted to dance and relax, but my mom called me and demanded that I come home. Granny had apparently decided to take a bath and wanted me to wash her back. Was she for real? Damn it. I sighed wearily and said I'd be there soon. Then, I found Stan and asked him to come with me, but he was talking to some girls and refused to help me. Bridget, do you think I'm nuts? I'm not gonna waste the weekend looking after a cranky old lady. Tears stung my eyes. I felt humiliated, but didn't let it show and left the party with my head held high. When I came home, I saw something weird. My mother was bringing my sister sweets and patting her on the head. What's going on? Are you blind? Can't you see that Angelina is sick? It turned out Mom thought my sister was dressing like a goth because she was depressed. She refused to believe that it was just part of her new rock star image. Bridget, give your grandma a foot massage. I'm taking Angelina shopping. Maybe it will cheer up my dear girl. Can you imagine? No one cared that I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Barely holding back my rage, I stopped my sister. Can we talk? Why does Mom think you're depressed? I'm not exactly thrilled myself, but Mom will go ballistic if she finds out I quit gymnastics and took up music. They left, and I was left alone with my problems. After I finally put Grandma to bed, I sat down to work on my Harry Potter project, but I was so tired I passed out right at the table. Things were getting worse by the day. Mom dragged my sister to spas and psychologists and did everything to cheer her up. Meanwhile, I was all but invisible. I did everything Grandma asked of me and tried to work on my project whenever I had a free moment. I really wanted someone to say they were proud of me, but everyone forgot about me. Dad said he still needed time to think, and all my boyfriend cared about was having fun. Stan, I'm running out of time. Could you help me with the project? That's so boring. Let's go to the water park instead. You know I can't leave Grandma alone for long. Then I'll see you after you've solved your problems. I was so lonely. And one day, my sister suddenly called me and said that she had run away from home and was going to live in her friend's trailer for a while. Mom has been smothering me. I told her I'm going to go to a music college, but she didn't even listen to me. She kept saying I needed treatment. She gave me an address and asked me to bring her some clothes. Please don't tell Mom where to find me. I wasn't thrilled, but agreed to help my sister. I put her clothes in a backpack and headed to that address. What I didn't know was that Mom followed me. When she saw Angelina, she grabbed her by the arm and dragged her to the car. The worst thing was that my sister thought I'd ratted her out. You traitor! I trusted you! Angelina came home, but she no longer spoke to me. My eyes started twitching from stress. The only thing that calmed me down was working on my project late at night. Soon, it was finally ready. I proudly carried it to my school. However, once I got there, I got a call from my mom. As soon as I answered, she started yelling at me. It turned out that Grandma had fallen and hurt herself again. She was supposed to have her cast removed and move back to the nursing home tomorrow, but now she will be staying with us for a long time, and it's all your fault. I burst into tears. At that moment, Stan was passing by. Instead of trying to comfort me, he laughed. I couldn't stand it and shouted that we were over. I don't need a boyfriend I can't rely on. He got so mad, he snatched the model out of my hands and threw it on the floor. Oh yeah? Well, you can say goodbye to studying in Germany now. Oh no! I tried so hard, and it was all for nothing. What did I do to deserve it? I ran home in tears. However, no one there cheered me up either. I finally snapped and started to scream and destroy everything around me. Granny, you're acting like a spoiled child. Oh, and Angelina, it must be hard to be so loved by Mom. You can't even imagine what it's like when your own parents don't notice you. Mom, you are the actual worst. I did everything to make you proud of me, but you don't care about me at all. I got dizzy and fainted. I woke up in my bed. My worried family was gathered around me, even Dad. I thought they would scold me again, but to my surprise, they hugged me. Oh, sis, I was so scared. I'm sorry for the way we treated you. Mom was worrying over me when it was you that needed help. Then, Grandma apologized for her behavior and admitted that she had been acting that way so that we would pay attention to her. She even fell again on purpose to stay with us longer. And then, she turned to my mom. I saw the way you treat your daughters. If you don't change, you will end up like me. Everyone will forget about you and send you to a nursing home. Then, she told us she got insurance money after the accident on the liner. Bridget, you've been through a lot because of me. I want you to use that money to study in Germany, just like you wanted. Mom scoffed that she would never end up alone. However, she was in for some unfortunate news. Dad said that he had thought about everything and decided to divorce her. Angelina told her that she had been accepted into a music college and would be leaving soon. Mom burst into tears and hugged me. At least I've got you. I will be a good mom from now on. However, I told her I had been trying to please her for long enough already. Now, I want to think about myself and my future. So, I used my grandmother's help and went to Germany. I keep in touch with everyone in my family except Mom. She was left all alone. Maybe someday I'll find it in my heart to forgive her, but it will take time. Any word of advice?